Welcome to the Boldflash instructional series for administration and management. Boldflash is proud to present to you our collective vision for the new mobile division communication strategy. This is part 1, Boldflash, interdepartmental communications and collaboration. Boldflash has long been at the forefront of flash technology, but the current interdepartmental conflicts and lack of communication has led to us falling behind our competitors. No longer will the current levels of contempt, mistrust, and dismissal between departments be tolerated. No one department will operate as a silo. We are a global team and we succeed or fail together. Boldflash is going to live up to its name. We will be bold in our complete redesign of our corporate communications, and all employees will embrace this new philosophy or embrace the alternative as Boldflash moves toward the future without their services. In this installment, we will look at one random departmental communication, which represents just a few of the flaws in current operations. We will present our new communications policy guidelines. We will offer a focused critique of the current document and an adaptation which follows our new communications philosophy. So let us begin. We'll begin with your training guidelines. As this new training program is put into practice, we will be releasing training documentation to all management staff in all departments. The training program is to consist of printed deliverables for reference, the training video series you are currently undertaking, and signed receipt of training and acceptance of defined responsibilities. All training methods will have a clear, predefined target audience for the material being delivered. Wherever possible, the materials will be tailored for job-specific content. All participants receiving the trainings will be required to meet training deadlines and certification of trainings in order to make this philosophical shift as seamless and sweeping as possible. Upon completion of this training program, all employees are expected to understand their reasonable expectations and be able to implement a global communication protocol across our company and network. Communication guidelines. 1. Understand the purpose of why you are writing or sending a message. Is it to inform, to give instruction, to make a suggestion, or to recommend a course of action? Determining your purpose will help the receiving party to understand your message in a more clear fashion. 2. Identify and address the proper audience. When the proper audience is determined, make sure to communicate in a manner that can be understood across cultural or departmental barriers so the communication is clear and understood by the receiving parties. 3. Communicate in an organized and concise manner so the intent of the message is clear and does not get overshadowed by too much additional or non-essential information. 4. Provide accurate information that the intended audience can base their actions upon with confidence. 5. Use proper punctuation, grammar, spelling, and structure to create even more confidence in how your message is received by the intended party. 6. Initiate feedback. This is of the utmost importance. Providing feedback channels for continued collaboration will allow not only for everyone involved to have their input, but it also allows you to know that the message was received and the message was understood. We'll now move on to example 1 as originally written. I've highlighted the areas of deficiency and will offer a critique. As you can see, in the heading, in the to line, or defining the parties involved, the audience is declared as all department heads. However, as you can see in the body, we will get to this, the message is not directed at all department heads. In fact, the stakeholders involved are manufacturing and tech support. 2. In the message body, there are several instances of slang and conversational tone. This is clearly a message intended to initiate a substantial change in policy, so conversational tone is inappropriate and takes away from the message importance. 3. The message body references two employees directly, but does not completely identify either one. Matter of fact, the party involved is only mentioned as Kevin. Now, this can obviously lead to confusion, and it did lead to confusion. When identifying parties, we have to identify people clearly and completely. 4. The body of the message refers to product documentation, but it does not specify the documentation it refers to. Is it technical specifications? Is it warranty information? Is it end user instructions? We don't know. It's not defined. 5. The message expresses a complete break in cooperation and collaboration, as it states, and I quote, "I'm directing my staff to no longer respond to questions coming from tech support." This is unacceptable. Our departments will not operate as a silo. Again, we are a global team. We succeed and we fail together. Open collaboration is not encouraged, it is mandatory. All communications need to have an invitation for feedback, critique, and collaboration. Now moving on to our revised communication, as you can see in the example above, we have the same message from before written with our new communication guidelines and protocols. As you can see, number 1, we have properly identified the intended audience as tech support and manufacturing. Number 2, we have utilized universal terminology. We have eliminated catchphrases, buzzwords, and slang. That way, we can communicate clearly across cultural, language, and technological boundaries. Number 3, we have identified the parties referenced in the body of the message. We have identified Kevin Delhomme, Director of Insert Department here. And we have eliminated Kevin's administrative assistant because that was unnecessary information. We have fixed grammar and structure. We have fixed spelling, punctuation, and format of the message. Number 5, rather than laying out concrete declarations without proper approval from overhead management, we have offered suggested changes as flexible. And finally, 6, we have opened a line of communication for feedback, which is extremely important and mandatory. We must always open a line of communication for feedback for 2 reasons. 1, it allows input from other departments, and 2, it allows you to know that your original communication was not only received, but understood. Now, to go a little deeper, we offer an alternative adaptation. As you can see, this is the original message, but rather than our identified tech support and manufacturing divisions, we now revise this message to be focused towards marketing. As you can see, the message has been much shorter. It now reads simply, R&D is making changes to the product release process so that we can reduce the time we're spending on completing our end of the product release package. We are proposing to eliminate physical product documentation because the documentation is accessible and downloadable to end users from our company servers. We feel that this will expedite product release and manufacturing times while also saving money on materials. Please respond with any questions or concerns. I am open to scheduling a meeting with your departments to discuss how alternative changes at any time. Now, as you can see, we have eliminated any information that doesn't pertain to marketing. Of course, allowing marketing to understand that product documentation is accessible and downloadable by end users will help there with their campaigns and with their presentation of marketing materials. And we always, again, open a line of communication for suggestions and feedback. with that, that concludes part one of our communications on basic interdepartmental communications. Thank you.